Yo, can anyone hear me?
Yo, you got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. Sound okay?
Better than last week.
Well, that's good.
Can't see you. You got a webcam? It doesn't matter, but
Yeah, I do. I don't know what's on. Hold on. Here we go. Here we
cool.
go.
I'm wondering if I should throw on headphones. Are you hearing yourself echoing or anything through my mic or anything like that? Or
No?
No, you guys hear me?
yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you saying.
got you too.
Check these out.
Sorry, having a little bit of dessert. We just finished
Dessert. Dessert is good.
sugar-free pudding and some we got a Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
Cool. Whip.
Mhm.
Whip.
All right.
Wait.
I'm gonna throw on some headphones. I'm getting a free pair because my daughter has so many headphones.
Mm.
Screen. All right. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to change this to headphone audio.
Did you
Wonderful.
hook up your new computer, Vinny?
No, not yet.
Mm.
I got to get a webcam for it. So, yeah, I'm still on my old one right now.
I'm gonna say you look and sound a lot better though.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so.
Well, he showered, so.
Yeah, I showered.
Well, right.
Well, yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday.
All right. So I guess we can just start this. think I'm recording. Let me see. Yep, I'm recording.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how this records, but anyway, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Saint.
Yep.
I don't like that I'm so blown out, but that's fine. We'll deal with it. All right. Welcome to a new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike T, here with Saint and Vinnie tonight. How you guys doing?
Yo, doing good, man. Doing good. Merry
Good.
2 days after Christmas.
2 days after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it took the whole year to get there, but then it's over in the blink of an eye. So what are you gonna do?
Right.
Yeah. Now we're waiting for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and that'll be here before you know it.
Exactly.
I'm actually off tomorrow because hey, I'm gonna go get tested for COVID because I think my wife got it from work, and so yeah.
Wow. Well, that sucks.
Yay.
Yay.
That's the big news on my end. So I told my boss, I said, listen, I don't want to take any chances. Let's go get tested and see what's going on and go from there. So
yeah, you want to get ahead of that thing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's the responsible thing to do. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people are just like, plug it to the wind. So
right.
I've already been tested 3 times. It's with the long swab up the nose. It's not fun, but it's something that I feel is necessary. Saint's eating that pudding.
Get the cool whip.
The podcasters can't hear that. The listeners can't hear him eating, but it's funny to see it on video.
Right. Trying to do it off to the side. So it sounds like just gorging myself while he's pudding, but yeah.
So guys, what you been up to the past week? Any news on either of your fronts? Vinny, you want to start? You got anything? How you doing?
I'm doing good. No new news. I mean, just last minute shit during the week to get ready for Christmas and everything.
Yeah.
Making sure all your Amazons and HSNs and QVCs are all getting there either on time or in one piece. But other than that, nothing. Just no new news. Waiting it out until 2021. The one thing I don't understand about the 2021 coming, everybody's really excited about it coming, and I guess it's like a new start for everybody and everything. But we're still starting with the same shit that we're ending up with at the end of 2020. So, to be that optimistic at this point is, I don't know, a little overzealous. I don't know. I mean, everybody's hopeful, and I think that's great. And things are working with the COVID vaccine and things like that. But they think a lot of people are just thinking as soon as the ball drops, COVID is no longer an issue, and everything's back to normal. But hopefully, a lot of people don't think that way, because this thing will be sticking around for a long time if that's the case.
But it's always been like that. It's not like this is a new thing. Like you mentioned, like every year you get the people who are like, end of the year, new slate, got these resolutions. But I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's never made sense to me. But I guess it gives people a sense of hope or optimism. Probably, these get through this really shitty year.
Yeah, I mean, and needless to say, 2020 has been a shitty year, and 2020 could be the beginning of something great. But to just take one step into the next year and think everything's going to be great, yes, optimistic, hopeful, and I guess that's a good thing. But the shit's still here, so
right,
we got to live this way for a while. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out this year, how to maybe make 2022, seamless rather than having to live with a mask on all the time. So
right. I already have plans for 2022. I bought, my parents don't know this yet because I couldn't see them because of COVID. Because I'm being safe anyway. I bought them tickets to see Elton John on his farewell tour at the Amway up in Orlando in 2022. That's how far out he's planned ahead because of the cancellations and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so that should be fun if we get around to that. Still a year and a half away, but
yeah. Well, let's hope he doesn't get COVID.
Right.
He sounded good when I heard him on Stern recently. He sounded healthy, and he's basically saying, you get a lot of people who say farewell tours this, farewell tours that. He seems to basically say, yeah, this is it. My kids are young. I want to spend what time I have left, because I think he's in his 70s now. What time I have left with my kids, watch them grow up and be there for them. So,
I mean, what's left for him to do, really? I mean, I get it. Being on stage and you get that energy. There's probably nothing like it to play in front of 20,000, 80,000 for him, stadiums and stuff like that. But other than that, man, he's done everything. So I mean, why not kick back, relax, hang out with your kids? I'm fucking sick of them.
Did you see the movie? Did you see Rocket Man, Vinny?
No,
or Sainte?
I will not see that fucking movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
I liked it, guys. I mean, the trailer sold me on it, but it was good. It's a biopic, or biopic, however you want to say it. But I thought it was pretty good. I've never been a huge fan of his music, but I love that soundtrack. I gotta tell you, that movie did
the music
really good covers.
He's a fantastic musician. He's got classic songs that will live on forever.
Right.
But after seeing Bohemian Rhapsody.
That was it. Yep.
I could not see myself seeing that one, and I heard a lot of people panned it because it was nowhere near what the Queen story was.
Bohemian Rhapsody was. It was just the songs. I mean, you come away from that movie knowing like, oh yeah, we really, really, really like Queen songs, but the whole story, like if you're gonna look it up, half that movie's bullshit. It's like the three guys, they paint themselves, a certain way, and and I guess in order for them to get the rights to the music, they basically said this can't be the Freddie Mercury story, or they can't paint him in too good or bad of a light, but yet he's the only one people are really interested in. It's like, what else are we gonna watch here? So they mess around with the timelines. They do, they basically make it like he was begging them to come back when that wasn't true at all, So after that, I'm like, I'm kind of done with these authorized biops, because in order to get the music, you have to agree to shoot the movie the way they want it.
Right.
And so you don't get the real story. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a hand Brian May or the other members of Queen, that shows how, and no offense to the other members of Queen, I just don't know their names, and I watched the movie. I know Brian May because he's an astrophysicist. I know that, and I know Freddie Mercury, and I can't imagine myself going to see a Queen concert without Freddie Mercury singing. It's no offense to Adam Lambert or anyone who's tried. I think there was an Asian guy who tried for a while. It's just I can't see it, but hey, it's probably still a good time.
Hey,
still the same songs.
As far as doing the songs, and Adam Lambert said it himself, he's not he's not going to be Freddie Mercury, you know, but he does a great job with it. I mean, I watched I think it was like a documentary movie, The Show Must Go On, about Queen and using Adam Lambert in place of Freddie Mercury. And he does a great job. And he's pretty humble about it, you know, knowing that he's not Freddie Mercury. He's out there singing Freddie Mercury songs. And he does a good job. He puts on a good show.
Right.
So, but yeah.
And speaking of Amazon, I miss touching on that, man. Amazon's a godsend, man. I can't, if I didn't have Amazon in my life, and they don't rely on the postal service anymore, and sometimes not even like UPS, or they got their own thing, man. And so you can still get that 1 or 2 day delivery. You know, that's usually the worst case scenario if you have Prime. But I mean, without that, I'd be kind of screwed in a lot of instances.
Well, they have numerous contracted delivery services that work for Amazon, because you know looking for a job and stuff. Of course, I looked for delivery jobs for Amazon, and there's at least a dozen that I know of, delivery services that are looking for drivers to drive for their company for Amazon deliveries. So, I mean, they got this thing cornered, man. They don't have to rely on postal service or anything. That's amazing to me.
Jeff Bezos, I read an article, or at least a headline the other day, how he's one of the 5, I think, Sainte billionaires. I mean, that's just insane, man. I can't imagine that. And that's after his divorce. Like, that is just crazy, dude.
He's a dick.
Wait, what does that word mean?
It means he's a billionaire, but times 100 at least. So like he's on he's worth at least $100 billion.
He's a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
Well, when he got divorced, the second the divorce was final, she became the richest woman in the world.
Yep.
His ex-wife.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's to tell you how rich it was. And from all it was said, the divorce went pretty smooth. He was like, okay, you can just get this. I'm good.
Bye. Exactly.
And I don't know how if anyone's actually ever going to listen to this or whatnot. Hope they do, but I gotta say, I kind of have a thing for Mackenzie Bezos, Scott, whatever her name is. I don't know. It's not just because she's worth $1 billion something.
Oh, that's horse shit. That's horse shit.
No, it's not. She's actually kind of cute. Look at pictures of her. I don't know. I never noticed her before until the divorce, but I wasn't looking up Jeff Bezos and wife, you know. So.
No, that's true. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. I mean, I don't even know what she looks like, so you may be right. You know,
take a look. You got a computer. I know you won't see Zoom right in front of you, but you can still talk. It's a good look. Brunette. That's my thing. You know, whatever. But yeah.
His new girlfriend looks almost exactly like her. It's kind of weird. The woman he was cheating on her with. It was.
Yeah, but I mean,
a weird story.
Guys have a type, you know.
When you have $100 billion, you can have those women made for you. There's probably some mad scientist somewhere pumping out Bezos wives.
Have you guys seen the pictures of him in his first office? It's like one picture. It's like a real famous picture. He's like got this small desk. He's got like one PC set up, and like it's him starting out his book selling business, Amazon, and it's crazy to see where he is today. So I mean, I give the guy props, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But Sainte, what's been going on with you the past week?
Let's see. So yeah, I got Christmas done, all the shopping and everything. Besides that, we had a big, it wasn't Zoom, it's like a Go meeting call with everyone on the boat, which is real interesting because instead of, I guess you could do it on computer, but most guys telephoned in. The guys were having to mute their phones. You're listening to people's conversation in the background. But I guess we're getting everything situated for us to steam back north to Alaska in January. So I'm probably around January 10th or 11th. That's when they think about they're gonna be selling. I mean, so speaking of tests, so I'm supposed to quarantine here for 14 days, then fly up to Seattle, get tested. We'll be in hotel rooms for 1 or 2 days while everyone gets tested. Then we go to the boat, spend another day on the boat, and if everything goes smoothly, God willing, then we'll sail up to Alaska and have to turn. I guess Alaska doesn't mess around now with people coming in, so you have to have your paperwork and a COVID test and all that. So,
no, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then one of our boats, we actually had 15 guys. I guess on one of our smaller boats, the Defender or the Enterprise, maybe one of them. But they had like 15 guys catch COVID. I guess because I did this during the summer. They fly guys in, take your test in Seattle, spend 2 days in a hotel, then they fly you up to Alaska. Well, I guess last year our boat was the only boat where guys are paying attention. So the other two or three boats, they had guys flying up to Seattle and they were failing their COVID test and they were sending them home. But I guess what happened, one or two guys must have gotten through. And then on the Enterprise, they had 15 guys catch COVID. So, the Coast Guard and the state of Alaska shut them down, took them to port, made them go back. So yeah, the company's just trying to avoid all that. So I'll be taking a COVID test in about 2 weeks. And besides that, all the same. I'm watching some Wonder Woman, some Soul, and
I know you wanted to talk about those, so that's your segue
yeah.
into them.
What, Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman 1984 and Soul. Soul's the new Pixar movie. It's on both are on streaming right now. Wonder Woman's on HBO Max, which is Warner Brothers' push to try to get a lot more subscribers on HBO Max. They're releasing their entire slate of 2021 movies on HBO Max the same time they're releasing them in theaters. So that's kind of cool. And then Soul, like I said, is the new Pixar. It's directed by Pete Docter, but everyone from Pixar. It's a unique concept. Saint, you brought him up. You want to talk about one or the other first? You want to talk about them? See what you want to say.
Which do you want to do first? Do we want to do Soul or Wonder Woman 84?
Based off the text that we were going over before, let's start with the one that I feel like you have less regard for. Let's talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay. Right, which I guess technically would be the bigger movie, I guess, but I mean Disney, Pixar, Disney Plus, but so okay, let me ask a question. Did you guys both see the first Wonder Woman?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it, yes.
I was gonna say, okay, so Mike, what did you think of the first Wonder Woman movie?
I think the first one was pretty awesome, the way they set it in the time period of World War One, and I don't really love stories, but it wasn't like it wasn't the entire focus, although it seems to play more a part in here in this new movie. You know what I mean? Because should we say spoilers? Because I'm assuming we're going to talk about spoilers, or does Vinnie care?
Sure.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, is Chris Pine in it again?
Yes. Yeah. We'll get to that too. We're going to get to that also.
I mean, is that a spoiler as well? That Chris Pine is?
He's in the trailers. He's in the trailers.
So. Oh, okay. I didn't know if he died in the first movie or something.
He did.
He did.
Oh, did he really?
Yes. Vinny's good at this. We should just randomly ask questions to see if Vinny can piece together how bad this movie is going to be based on what Vinny guesses. But Vinny, you're familiar with the Wonder Woman character.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Maybe Linda Carter, the 1970s show, all that.
Oh yeah, I still got her poster in my room right now.
Right. Which, again, spoiler, we'll talk about her too. So, all right. So, full disclosure, I was not a big fan of the first movie. There were parts of it I really liked, especially the parts that take place on Themyscira, right? That with the Amazons. Mm-hmm. That part I really enjoyed, and seeing, it's an origin story. They showed the beginning, how she was on the island with the Amazons, and eventually how Chris Pine, Steve, the pilot, ends up there, and it's a World War One. Actually, you can kind of see it's a bit of a Captain America, the First Avenger ripoff. Yeah. If you really look at those, I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's a bit of a World War One, World War Two. But there were some parts in that first movie that I didn't enjoy. Overall, I think the third act's a mess. The final battle with Ares was terrible.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. Yeah.
So there are a lot of things. Overall, I wasn't a big fan of it, but there were parts of it that I did enjoy. And then this time, Patty Jenkins, the director, so it was said she was co-writer on this script, and she was getting a $200 million budget. So basically, this is her movie. And I was a little more excited because basically with the DCU as compared to Marvel and the MCU, everything with, I think Dan Snyder, I don't know why they keep giving this guy money or let him control
Zack
things.
Snyder. Dan Snyder's
Zack,
the owner of the Washington
oh,
football team.
well, him too. Either of these people should be in charge of anything having to do in
That's right.
charge.
That's right.
Zack Snyder, thank you. So, yeah, I don't know why they continue to let him run things because I guess these movies do make money. I mean, you put them out there and with overseas box office and domestic, they're gonna make money. But when it comes to how these movies have been received, they've basically been failures. I mean, Batman v Superman, Justice League, even Suicide Squad, except for a lot of people like the first Wonder Woman from Patty Jenkins, and the the resounding theory was that she was also kind of hamstrung because DC kind of reined her in the first movie without giving her total control because they're trying to set up this DC universe. Anyway, so Wonder Woman 1984 supposed to be mostly her script, $200 million. She has full control, and I think this movie maybe even worse than it is worse than the first one for me. It makes the storyline makes no sense. And I don't know where $200 million went in this movie, but it's not on the screen, not from what you've seen. I mean, okay, quick run through. So in this movie, Vinny, as you guessed, in the first movie, Steve dies.
Great.
Wonder Woman saves the world after battling Ares. And but the first movie takes place in World War One time. So we're talking about 1918, 1919. This movie takes place 1984. She's still somehow, I guess, sort of undercover, but in the very first scene, he's rescuing people from a mall robbery. And it's not like she's trying to hide herself. Like, I guess we get one shot where she's trying to take out the cameras so people can't, see, they don't hit her on film. But it's not like she's incognito. She's just out as Wonder Woman. So unless people get their memory erased, they're going to see who she is. Long story short, the overall gist of this story is one of the villains, Max Lord, ends up with a stone that grants people's wishes, which he wishes to become the stone. So he's the person, so he becomes a genie in a sense. Stick with me. And this stone provides wishes, and Diana's wish is obviously to get Steve back because I guess, Amazon Warrior Princess, the only thing that she could possibly wish for is to get her long lost love back. So, Mike, come in anytime you want. The first part of this story is it's not that Steve comes back. He comes back. He's basically taken over the body of a man in 1984 who happens to live close to Diana, so to Wonder Woman. So he doesn't come back. He is just ghost-like inside the body from 1984, which everyone sees the guy, but she sees Steve.
Yeah, it's not even ghost-like. She is basically, it's like almost he's been taken over in his mind. If anyone else, like Saint just said, if anyone else sees him, it's the guy, it's the engineer guy, this other character who at the end of the movie comes back, but whatever. It was kind of weird, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't like resurrect Steve Trevor like through cryogenics or something, or make a clone of him.
He'd have to be another Captain America. I mean, he'd be, that's the way they would be bringing him back. I mean, cryogenically. I was going to say, I mean, what's Chris Pine, like 87 years old?
No, in the movie, yeah, he would have been. It was 65 years later, so it would have been something like that. It would have been about that. So, yeah, I mean, I can see what Saint says. I mean, listen, it's a popcorn flick. It's the first big one besides Tenet that's been released. It got put in theaters, but also on streaming. So, Saint, did you see this earlier? Or did you just see this the other day when it got released?
No, I saw it when it got released.
Okay.
I just saw it, noon on Christmas, and
yeah.
Well, after we had Christmas dinner, I was like, well, this is sold. I was like, I had a feeling. So I was like, let me try to get this one out of the way. And it was worse than I thought. And I was like,
The biggest problem I had with it was, and it's not really a problem, it's just a little nitpicky thing because I latch onto things and I can't let it go unless I figure it out. The scene where she learns how to fly, there's music cue in there from Hans Zimmer, and it's no typical Hans Zimmer music. I like Hans Zimmer, so I'm not going to bag on
What do you mean, fly without the plane?
Yeah, she like learns how to fly, and that's another piece of the.
Right, see, I'm out. I'm done. Okay,
No,
but no, in the comics she could fly,
it-
right?
it's been retconned. Originally, no. So originally, no, and it was developed from the comics and the TV show about her invisible jet, which Vinny is in this movie.
It's in 1984. Okay. It wasn't
So-
in the first one. She didn't have a jet in the first one, right?
No.
No, here we go. Right. So Chris Pine is a pilot, a World War I pilot.
Yeah.
Gets resurrected in this 84 version
I know what you're
and
gonna say.
magically knows how to work a
The-
19. I looked this up. This plane would have been developed in the 70s. This is a 70s Navy plane.
Yeah.
Gets behind the cockpit, like, well, I know how to fly.
He's
So
like fuel on.
Yes, a jet fighter when he was fighting World War I prop planes. Then after they take off, and remind me because I've only watched the first Wonder Woman once, but somehow she has the power to turn things invisible.
She didn't have that in the first one. I remember she said, "Oh, my dad could do this. Let me see if I can." And I knew her as soon as she said that. I knew where she was going. She was going to.
And she turned the jet invisible. And we all knew it.
Yes, I know.
Everyone knew it. Like, what? This is the power now?
It's interesting, but listen, they're trying to make money. It's still probably out of the DCEU movies. It's probably that and Wonder Woman. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Batman v Superman or Justice League. So bring me some Nolan Batmans or something like that. But
terrible.
When you go to see these movies, you got to go in with the state of mind of what you're going to see.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going in there with a predetermined, this is going to be great, this is going to be this is going to be that, you're going to be sadly disappointed. I mean, if you go in with an open mind saying, okay, this is a shit movie, that let me get through it and blah, 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 blah. Not so much with the Marvel movies. The Marvel movies are fantastic, but anything that is DC related seems to be like, good God, man, let me just get through this thing.
Well, that's the thing. And I think, I don't know if Sainte was going to touch on that. Like, to me, I mean, the Marvel movies, they're held to a standard, and that's because they're all pretty much universally great. I mean, there's been one or two that are like, I'm not a huge fan of this Iron Man sequels, but DC trying their best to make this the same kind of thing, but it can't, because there's too many different people. There's not one overall guy with one overall vision, whether it's Kevin Feige or John Favreau had a big hand in it.
I was a fan of these superheroes as superheroes to begin with. I mean, Wonder Woman, I wasn't a big fan of Wonder Woman. They put a woman on TV and with big titties, Wonder Woman outfit, and everybody's gonna watch that because it's Linda Carter, of course. But as far as buying a comic book, I never ran to a Wonder Woman comic book or even an Aquaman comic book. You know what I mean? And these are the movies that they're putting out. Yeah. Because the question always was, and they touched on it in Seinfeld, can Aquaman do anything outside of the water, or is he strictly, hamstring to the ocean?
I guess you didn't see the Aquaman movie either.
I did not see that shit either. Okay.
That was actually pretty good, except for the main villain is like, he refers to himself as Ocean Master. So throughout the movie, I'm just cracking my ass up every time he says, "I am Ocean Master."
So the bad guy obviously had to be somebody who was detained to the waters of the world, right?
Yeah, in the first Aquaman, because I'm pretty sure they're somewhere in the late stages of development on the sequel, if not production already.
He can do stuff out of the water, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's stronger, right, Sainte? He's not like Superman strength, but
right. All the Atlanteans, they can be outside the water in strength, but the water's where they're. And actually, Aquaman, to me, I would consider it great or good, but it was okay. It wasn't, that I wasn't turned off like I am with Wonder Woman. At least the movie made sense. I thought it was too long, and there were some parts that had gotten out of there and they were cheesy, but it was an okay movie. Like, here's my thing. I go into these movies not expecting much, but
Yeah.
take a movie like Shazam. I thought
Oh,
Shazam
God.
was a
That's
really
great.
good movie.
Yeah.
It really it didn't try to be something different. The problem is your film has to stand as a film on its own. Doesn't really matter,
No, right.
superhero or this. There's just good filmmaking, and
Well,
for some reason,
especially now as far as superheroes go, because these superheroes have been around, since Wonder Woman, I guess, came in the 50s, maybe, when she became popular,
probably earlier, yeah.
maybe earlier than that. Just if you just generalized it and said, okay, these guys were in their heyday in the 40s. Okay, here we are, 80 years later. So, the people that are living now, the past few generations, I mean, so what do they know about these superheroes? So what you're saying, yes, I agree with. The movie has to stand up on its own because these people may not even know who the hell these people are. So
You got to keep it fresh, like we've touched on. Marvel does a great job with updating their heroes and making it more relevant and using tech for nowadays rather than the 60s when most of them were developed, or 70s. DC goes back, to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and so I think it's a little bit more difficult. Like Batman, they give him all this great tech.
right.
Batman's obviously still a really popular comic book character. I know you
Oh,
don't seem to be that much into comics, Vinny, but like there's
No,
there's
I
still
am.
okay.
I am. I'm just saying, there's certain superheroes that I would, go to before, like Wonder Woman. I wouldn't run to the store to buy myself a Wonder Woman comic book. It's more like Superman, Batman, when
Yeah.
you're talking DC, and, Iron Man and, Spider-Man and, all those on the other end. But I'm saying they're coming out with these movies with superheroes that weren't the most popular superheroes. I mean, to me, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe Wonder Woman, everybody was waiting for a Wonder Woman movie. I think they did it just to be different, of course, but I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, that's the way I feel about it.
I think if you have a strong female character like Wonder Woman, they almost have to make the movie. Not that she's not a good character. Like you said, it's a little outdated perhaps, but a strong female nowadays, I mean, that first
Yeah.
movie made a ton of money. That first movie
Oh,
made a
of
ton of
course.
money. So
Right.
Of course.
yeah, Saint, sorry, you were gonna say something.
Well, no, here's what I would say. Like, and every time, I'm always, on the boat, they have a cute nickname for me. They call me Mr. Beg to Differ, right? Because the guys on the boat, we watch movies
I
on there.
beg to
Always,
differ.
I'm always, well, that's gonna be the name of my podcast. I black to differ, but right. So I'm Mr. Beg to Differ, and it's always like, okay, well, what would you do better, say? I'm like, here you go. This is the one thing I would say. DC animation, from the Batman animated series to the Justice League cartoon, they consistently knock it out of the park when it comes to these characters. And true, they're dealing with animation, so it's easier because anything they write on the paper, they can easily just draw and make. But they seem to be able to catch the storylines and get the essence of these characters and put out, whether it's TV shows or standalone movies, that seem to do great with all the characters and stories. They just came out with a Wonder Woman DC animated movie that was 10 times better than this movie. And like, I give you an example. What if instead of what we got in Wonder Woman 1984, what if we placed in the 80s, but Wonder Woman was just a badass warrior princess, right? So she's going around saving the day, but everything she does is from a warrior princess angle, right? She just, anytime she goes into battle, she's just kicking ass. And what if somehow, some way, we bring Steve back and show her, hey, every situation doesn't have to be settled with shoving your sword down someone's throat. That's a much better idea of,
Yeah.
let's get a character arc, let's get some badass action scenes, Wonder Woman kicking ass. But then by the end of the movie, she realizes maybe I don't have to kill and destroy, because classic Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman people really like, I mean, besides the 80s or the 70s TV show based on limitations. But if you ever read the comic book, part of her overall arc has always been, I'm a warrior. I'm the baddest Amazon warrior, and I will kick everyone's ass, including Superman, if he gets out of line. But there's always been this tension. Well, is kicking ass and taking names always the right thing to do? To me, that could have been a much more interesting story than what we got with this movie. This movie is a mess from the whole Chitara story. And now, I was looking up certain reviews and they hit around on the head. She's just like Jamie Foxx's Electro in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, just like what was Jim Carrey, the Riddler. Start out as this nerdy, smart but nerdy outcast who works for a company who all of a sudden gets powers, and for some reason they hate the superhero and do battle with the superhero at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We've seen this trope over and over again. And I'm just wondering, Patty Jenkins was full reign. It just big time disappointment. Not to mention, again, $200 million. Mike, you tell me, does this look like a $200 million movie?
I'll tell you, there's one scene that did it for me in particular. I didn't find it as offensive as you did, honestly, but there's one part where she's the car scene in the desert where she's chasing after Max Lord and she goes to get those kids out of the road. When she swings in, I feel like the CGI was horrible. It was noticeable. And yeah, I have a 55-inch TV. It's not a big screen, but it was really noticeable. And I was like, come on, you guys could have touched that up before you released it. Let's go. I mean,
not to mention, Vinny, so they want us to believe there in a parade of armored trucks coming down the road, and a mile down the road, there's kids playing soccer, and the kids stay in the middle of the road
The whole time.
waiting for Wonder Woman.
The stupid fucking kids like that we don't need them around anyway.
Darwinism.
Let the trucks do us a favor. Let the trucks.
Did I mention this is a desert and this is the only family?
It's the only house.
The only house in the desert. Oh my God! Come on.
And this looked like a pretty straightaway highway, and the kids stay in the road, play soccer for Wonder Woman to save the day. This is the level of craftsmanship we're dealing with. I'll leave it to you, Mike.
Good news. Good news. You can wrap it all up in the third part of the trilogy because Wonder Woman 3 just got greenlit for a fast track. So in a few years, we'll be getting that.
Really?
Yeah.
Today?
Oh my God.
It was today or yesterday. I noticed it. Yep. Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot and everyone's.
Hey, you know what though? I think movies that you can watch only from home now, they're going to do well because nobody has to leave the house. I mean, you don't have to load up the kids. You don't have to buy popcorn. You're saving money pretty much by staying home.
I'm still a fan of that. Like that's basically what me and my wife did before the pandemic. We could go out, we could go to the movies. That was our thing. We'd only go see movies that we wanted to see, but it was still 2 to 4 times a month we get to go out.
But I'm saying you're not going to make an effort to go see a movie that you kind of want to see.
Yeah.
But if you can watch it at home, okay, let's watch it at home. We don't have to leave the house. So that's why a lot of these movies are probably being seen.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to go anywhere. Let's watch it. What the hell?
Right.
So, I mean, it's accessible to everybody at home. So the movie industry is probably going gaga over this pandemic thing. Going, oh hell, we're going to make some money on this.
As long as you have an HBO Max membership.
Yeah.
Well, right. Well, real quick, we could do a couple of minutes on it. Movie studios still make more money off the theatrical release, right? With the deals they used to have with, the movie theater companies, Regal and AMC.
Yeah. Right.
So, but something like HBO Max, that's the future. Disney has pretty much said we are going all in on Disney Plus. Streaming is the future. They know. And then Warner Brothers, which just got bought by AT&T, they need to make a profit. And HBO Max is supposed to be their next big, shebang. And it kind of came with a thud because, if you have HBO, they didn't really, advertise what else am I getting with my HBO Max, even though if you look on it, it has a pretty good library of stuff on there. You just have to know about it. So, like you said, Warner Brothers, they're like, hey, 2021, we're dumping everything we can to get these HBO Max subscribers because AT&T's like, we need to see a return for our investment like now.
Yeah.
So, and Disney, I know, Mike, have you seen the Disney call? The amount of Star Wars and Marvel that's coming to Disney Plus.
10 Star Wars series, I think 10 or 15 Marvel series. It's some crazy number of all this stuff, all this streaming content that's going to be released. But Disney has like 90 million subscribers right now. and
Yeah.
that yeah, that's above their estimates, or that's above what they
Well,
thought they were projections. So it's just kind of crazy. But Saint's right. I
Okay.
mean, and Vinny, you too. It is the future, but I'm still with Chris Nolan, and I just was listening to the El Camino podcast to go off on a little sidetrack here for Vince Gilligan for Breaking Bad and
Right.
Better Call Saul, and he's saying, if I could shoot film at the cost, or even he said he didn't care about the cost. If it looked as good and was easy to use as digital nowadays, he would do that. So I still like the film experience. I'm still going to go see movies, if I
I
have
do too.
any kind of desire to go see it, like
No,
and
I miss.
especially
I mean, I miss going to the movies. I miss that whole.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. I mean, it's it's something you plan for. You go out, you have a good time, and yeah, I miss that. I miss being able to go to the theaters and stuff. I mean, they're the ones that are going to be hurting. I mean,
well, they're getting in the and that's breaking news, by the way, in the new coronavirus relief bill that Trump signed after I guess he backed down from the $2,000 payments, which sucks because I was looking forward to getting $2,000, but whatever.
that would have been nice.
I think there's 15 billion in there for movie theater and live theater relief. So movie
wow.
theaters and like Broadway and things like that should be getting some relief. So even though AMC said they were going to go bankrupt next month, this will probably keep them afloat, for a little bit longer once the vaccines start pumping out and people may start going out again.
Yeah.
well, and unfortunately, it's coming like everything in life, right? Like everything, including people. There's going to be no middle. There's going to be the lower end, the people at the top, and nothing in the middle. So from now on, with movies, the only way movie theaters can survive are with blockbusters.
Right.
You're gonna have your Marvels, your Star Wars, all that. But
Yeah.
am I gonna shell out, 13, 14 bucks a person plus 20 to 25 bucks from popcorn to go see a rom-com at the movie? When it's like, if it's gonna hit Netflix or Disney Plus in 2 months, yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna wait. It's just where it is. And the movie theaters, they're becoming like, all we can do is show blockbusters because we can't show, unless you're like one of these, little small indie film houses, art houses that have like 1 or 2 screens and they show movies. Which when I lived up, in Washington, Seattle area, there are a few of those and they're really cool. And they show the small, like at one time you could have seen Parasite. I don't know, the movie from last year, best picture from last year. You can see smaller movies like that, but AMC and Regal, they're like, we need to put butts in this. And the only thing they can have is the Marvel blockbuster. So it's superheroes and sequels and kids movies. That's it. So it's kind of feast or famine, I still love the movie experience, but again, I'm the same way. I'm like, you're not gonna pay to see half these movies. It's like, if it's gonna be on Netflix or streaming in a few months, I'll wait.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, coming from a movie theater background, my first job ever was at a movie theater. Like I always was kind of frustrated when it made the switch towards that. And it was probably in probably this century, because I was working in the 90s, and then this century when the blockbusters started coming out. 4 theaters would be showing the blockbuster at different times, and you'd have 20 other theaters that were playing older movies, but then you'd have like maybe 1 screen showing an art house film, and if it didn't make enough, the marketing people would kick it out that week. And I think that's kind of crappy, especially in a small town where I live. Like a lot of the older folks on the beach, they hear about like, oh, this amazing art film or this indie thing, and it finally comes to town and then it's gone. So if it doesn't make enough money, it's not going to be there. So you're either going to have, like Saint said, those really small budget films or the big giant mega budget films. You're not going to have the medium range films so much anymore. I don't know how much Yesterday cost. That's that Beatles movie that Danny Boyle did this year.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know how much it costs. I can't imagine it was over 100, but I don't know. I could look it up, I guess, but it was good. It was good for what it was. I don't think it was. I know it made a lot of money though, because me and my parents went to see it. The theater was packed, and so it made, how much did it make? You got in front of you, got Box Office Mojo or something pulled up?
Yeah, it said the budget was somewhere between 26 and 41, and box office was 153. So it did very well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, those kind of movies are the ones that are going to suffer, because I mean,
but again, we're dealing with Beatles music.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like Bohemian Rhapsody
Right.
and Rocket Man, a
Yeah.
movie where you just go in, you know, the soundtrack's gonna be
Right.
bomb. That's easy to get people
Right.
in. But I don't know, take your average romantic comedy, or I keep bagging on
Right.
romantic comedies, but just your average, like, you know, original idea film
Right.
that's not $100 million.
Right.
How do you
Love
get people to go
Actually.
see it?
If Love
Right.
Actually came
Well,
out now, that's, that probably wouldn't have done so well.
I don't
So,
know. I mean, and this is weird. I don't know if you guys seen it. I've still never seen it. Everyone talks about how great it is and all this, and whether it's cheesy or whatnot. But I
yeah,
remember when
it's
it came out
cheesy.
in '03, that movie sold out theaters like crazy. People
right.
were dying to see that at Christmas time, and
Yeah.
so that's an
Hmm.
interesting thing. It's not a typical rom-com, I think, because it's
Right.
also got that British humor. So people who like British comedy might come to it, and
Yeah.
things like that. But um, yeah,
Well,
we've
plus,
talked a lot about those. It's good.
plus it depends on
Mhm.
what time of year they come out too. That's
Yeah.
important. You just put something out at Christmas time. Yeah, people are going to see it
Well, I
just
mean,
because it's
if we're
what you
talking
do.
if we're talking about like I said, the other, we talked about old comics, Marvel, DC, all that stuff. Actually, when I read comics nowadays, I don't even read those. And like I did for a while. I tried to read like about 10 years ago. I tried to get into them, but I read like the independent stuff, like The Boys, which is a huge hit on
Hmm.
Amazon right
Yeah.
now. It's a
Right. Right.
great comic series. So,
Yeah. Oh no,
um,
it's
Garth Ennis, one of my favorite writers. I mean, I'm more about the writers now. Garth Ennis, who's
Yeah.
the other one that I like a lot? Oh, Mark Miller.
actually, so am I. I mean, actually, I know Jonathan Hickman. He just came and he redid the entire X-Men universe, which I guess X-Men is a major comic,
Yeah.
but his new run on it is really good. But like you're saying, yeah, I've read some. Have you read Why the Last Man? That's an old one, but
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good one.
I love it.
Now
I
I'm
met the
getting.
co-creator of that, the artist, Pia Guerrera. I met her
Oh
at
really?
a comic shop in Orlando. Had her draw a picture of my daughter and sign the book for me. I love that series.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
coming to
Yeah,
FX.
I'm getting into all the independent stuff because
Yep.
all the major, I can't even, like I said, Hickman X-Men, because he just redid the entire X universe. So that was interesting, but now it's kind of fallen back into, the Marvel crossover
Yeah.
tropes. I'm kind of just like, okay,
Right.
I got the books, but yeah, a lot of the independent stuff is really interesting to me now. Maybe we're just getting old. Maybe
No, like listen, if we were just getting old, it would be like, oh, well, I've read Marvel my entire life, and that's what I'm reading now. No, I mean,
Right.
nah.
I'm more about the creator, and I think I've always been that way. I'm always a Tarantino guy. I'll always go see his
Yeah.
movies.
The cutting edge stuff. Something
Yeah,
that's, yeah, something not as mainstream.
I'm about someone in their style, like when Saint was talking about the Why the Last Man, which is like I said, it's coming out on FX eventually. But the guy who wrote that, Brian K. Vaughan, I think he wrote Saga too. Saga is an awesome book, and so like if I find a creator that I like, I'll usually at least give their I don't buy individual comics, but I'll buy one of their graphic novels, and as long as I
Right.
like it,
Right.
I'll keep reading.
Oh,
Like
sure.
Robert Kirkman, when me and Saint met him in
Yeah.
Comic Con. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Tell that story.
Yeah. Should I? Okay. So Vinny, me and Saint go to San Diego Comic Con 2012, right? And we go to see a Kirkman panel. I think. Do you know who else was on that panel? Was it Charlie Adler, the artist? Was he there? You don't know? Okay. It
Well,
was.
explain for Vinny who Kirkman is, though.
Oh, sorry, Vinny. Do you know who Robert Kirkman is? I apologize. I assume
No.
people know. Okay. He
Vaguely.
wrote.
Vaguely.
He wrote The Walking Dead and
Okay. Gotcha.
Invincible
Yes.
and everything else.
Gotcha.
So he's huge now because of how big the Walking Dead series
Of
turned
course.
into. So at the time, Walking Dead had come out a few years prior. All the nerds and geeks and me, I'm and Saint, we're all like, cool. We're into him. We go to see him at the panel. He talks, and did I go out a side door because I figured he was going to go out that side door, or I don't remember how we ran into him.
No, he said that he's like, hey guys, because he was also on the Walking Dead panel, which was in Hall H,
Yeah, no.
which this is just when the Walking Dead was just hitting its apex. It was
Right.
just becoming the big, TV thing or whatever.
Right.
So you're the one who figured he was doing this little panel in
Yeah.
his little room, maybe
Yeah.
100 people.
Yeah.
And everyone's there. And then he's like, hey, you know what? I can see you guys, the real fans. I know you guys can't see when in Hall H. There's like, 8,000 people. He
Yeah.
goes, I'm going to go out the side. He goes, if anyone brought some comics, I'll sign some stuff. And then you
Wow.
were like, oh, let's get out there and get in position, right? Should I tell the story? Should Mike?
You could go. I want to see
Alright.
if I can look up the names of the books that I
Yeah,
got brought to him.
So we do the panel, it ends, go out the side door. Mike actually, maybe it was just intuition, he got in a good spot. So Kirkman comes out and everyone comes and gets their comic signed, right? Now, even in this little panel, almost everyone's giving him a Walking Dead comic because,
Right.
that's his big comic,
That's his
whatever
thing,
he's known
right.
for. So he's just standing in a big circle, just everyone's handing him stuff, Walking Dead, sign. I'm sure he's signed it 1,000 times. So we're near the end. So Mike hands him his comics, and he looks at him. He goes, "Holy shit! I forgot what comic it was, right?" But it
I think one of
them.
them. I'm looking it up now. One of them was Cloudfall. I had read it literally on the plane on the way over, and I loved it. And I whip it out and go ahead, say, what was his reaction?
Right. And so this is like some of his first stuff. So he looks at it, he goes, "Holy shit!" He's like, "Where'd you get this one from?" Like knowing that, I'm sure
Right.
for the last few years, all anyone's talked to him about Walking Dead. But Mike hands him the comic, and it's two comics there. One of them is like he's like some I haven't seen. He's like, "Man, I don't even know if I have one of these." And he signs it. He's like, "Oh, this one's a real fan." The beam on Mike's face, because you could just tell.
Yeah.
Mike's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"That's right. I'm
Yeah.
a real fan.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
right.
like one of you Walking Dead
That's right.
fucking
I'm the real thing,
zombies.
right?
I'm the real deal here."
There it is.
And yeah, I was happy for Mike because that made his day, and I was like,
It did.
"Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I think that was probably the best moment for me of Comic-Con, because that was the first and only time I've been to San Diego. I took Saint with me because I knew he'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it was a chunk of change we dropped, and we stayed in this little seedy little motel in San Ysidro, which is like right on the Mexico border, which is cool,
Nice.
I thought.
Yeah.
But
fun times."
yeah, I
Fun.
know. But yeah, like he said, Hall H is this giant. Any major city that has a convention hall has a Hall H. I noticed that when I was watching The Amazing Race the other day. New Orleans has a Hall H. It's always the biggest theater in the convention center. So Hall H holds, I don't even know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. If you want to see something in Hall H, you have to wait in that line all day long, even if it's a panel at the end of the day, just to get in there. And hopefully you get in there. Me and Saint got in there, I think, one day on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we saw like Cleveland show and some other things.
Right.
No, it was Saturday. We went on Saturday.
It was Saturday? Okay. It was Cleveland show.
Yeah.
We saw the new Sam Raimi Oz when he did the Oz film.
Mhm.
And things like that. We missed my biggest disappointment of that was there was a Firefly, I think a 10th anniversary panel. And and we jokingly, we get there, we're like, "Oh, it'll be fine, we'll get there in the morning." We didn't know that the people we saw when we were leaving the night before were already in line for the panel the next day.
Yes.
So we get there and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's sold out. That's done."
Yeah. So sleep is not an option at these things.
Right. Saint, were you there when did we go to the Breaking Bad panel together, or did you get there? You were there, right?
You know what? Okay, so we got there for Wednesday preview night.
Yeah.
We're gonna geek out a little bit, Vinnie. So no.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
I think Hall H, I think we went on Friday because I think you went and stood in that line again on Saturday, and I'm like, I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
It was just too long and too late because, and unfortunately, Vinnie, we were going when were we going when Twilight was still the huge thing, when Twilight had taken over Hall H? This is right before
it was
Marvel.
2012. So maybe I know Doctor Who was in that because all those people dressed up like
right, because they came out the Doctor Who hats. I remember that part.
Yeah. Let me see.
But now Hall H is all Marvel. But at the time, and a lot of comic book nerds hated it because the Twilight movies. So you're seeing these 12-year-old girls willing to wait, 15, 16 hours in line for the Twilight panel. It was just like, yeah, okay, I'm good.
That was good times. I had a good trip. That was the first time ever out there. We made plans to go 5 years later. We signed a napkin. Don't know where that napkin is now, but we haven't created anything, I don't think, that we could bring back. But maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
Well, if Comic-Con ever comes back, so.
I know, right?
Yeah, no shit. Who knows? Who knows when that's gonna happen?
Oh my God. All right. So that's. Oh, we never talked about Soul. You brought up Soul. Let's talk about Soul.
Oh, Soul, right? Okay. Real quick, Disney Pixar Soul on Disney Plus. Can't say enough good things. Okay, I'm not gonna give any spoilers for this. It's not really spoilers. The only thing I will say about this movie is it is very what's it called? Maybe formulaic. like, 15 minutes in the movie, you kind of know where the story's gonna go. It's a
Mm,
Disney Pixar, stuff's gonna happen. It's a very predictable story.
right.
That being said, the animation's great. The voice acting, Jamie Foxx, who is it from Saturday Night Live,
Tina
30
Fey.
Rock, Tina Fey.
I didn't even know that was
The
her until I looked at the credits.
oh crap! Sorry guys, GameStop just shipped my PlayStation 5. Anyway,
You got a PlayStation 5? Must be
yeah, so I'm
nice.
getting a PS5. Yeah, I finally snagged one, but they said coming after Christmas. I'm like, whatever.
Saint's got to go celebrate now. We got to stop
Yeah,
the
no, right?
podcast because we
Yeah.
Fuck a
Yeah.
podcast. I got a PlayStation 5.
Exactly.
Great animation, great voice work, music was. It's the main character is he's a high school teacher, but he wants to be a jazz musician, and it's about finding purpose in your life. You can
Right.
guess where the
Right.
story goes, but
Sure.
it overall it was really good timing. Like I said, it's a basic Disney Pixar story,
Yeah.
so 15 minutes in you're gonna know where it goes, but it was still good. The writing was still good, acting, music, everything on point. Couldn't recommend it enough. Watch it with your kids, and just going back to Disney Pixar and what they do is just
Yeah. I saw
they're
I saw
there.
I saw previews for that, and I did want to see it. It did, pique my curiosity, and it did look good. You know, like you said, the animation looked great, and so yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
I
Couldn't
wasn't
recommend
sure.
it enough.
I
I'll
wasn't
be
sure based on the previews if I would love it, but like Saint said, the animation's really good as mostly all I think Pixar is, but it was really inventive too. Like without giving too much away, like the afterlife scenes with the Jerrys and the Terrys, and so like
Right.
they're so it's different. It's not just like a character like a dinosaur or a bear
right,
or
right.
it's cool. Like I mean, Inside Out was good for me because the emotions, they're all different characters, they're things you wouldn't normally see in a movie, so anytime you get to
Yeah,
see something new, it's cool.
yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on last week. I know last week our podcast didn't really work out because all our technical issues, but we seem to have worked that out. Any of you
Yeah.
playing Among Us? I gotta tell you, I love the game, and I know it's the biggest thing in the world, but I think you guys might not play it. No. Oh, did I freeze up? I can't hear you guys. No. I have to cut this part out.
So we were feeling dead air, and I brought up the fact that I watched the Casablanca last night, and we were talking about movies, so I threw a classic in there, and Saint was getting ready to say something. So
Right. And I said 1984, and then Mike came on and said fucking bullshit, and I agree.
yeah,
but
perfect.
here's but my point is that you can still watch, like, it doesn't matter about, I mean, we've got all the digital effects and computer animation and graphics nowadays, but good storytelling holds up throughout the ages. Like,
Oh
no
yeah,
matter what, you'll be able to watch Casablanca, The Maltese Falcon, The Godfather, uh,
mhm,
2001: A Space Odyssey.
right,
Those films hold up, even when you can see, like, it doesn't have the bells and whistles of today's movies.
right,
Good storytelling will always hold up, and that's why I don't give, like, I get some of the restraints we have, and everything has to be a big blockbuster, and so much time and effort has to be put into, like, the effects and this. But you take a Christopher Nolan or even Quentin Tarantino, and you're always going to get quality because they're always working on the storytelling,
right.
and all the bells and whistles is just
Don't
the
matter. Yeah,
icing. It doesn't. It's always about the storytelling. That's why I look
yeah.
at some of these big huge blockbusters. I'm like, who gets paid to write these scripts? Come to find out, I'm going on a rant here, but come to find out. So I never got a chance to talk to you, Mike, about take a movie like Rise of Skywalker,
Mm.
another movie that I was vastly disappointed in. Right?
Yeah.
Then to find out the screenwriter on The Rise of Skywalker is the same guy who did Batman v Superman and Justice League. And my question is, how do the same people keep getting the same jobs and
Yeah.
failing over and over again when the number one thing with any movie, whether it's Soul, Wonder Woman, Casablanca, if the script and the story is right, it always works out. So I think that's another big issue with Hollywood. And what you were saying, Mike, my one fear of the Netflixification of movies is that they just need content, right? And when it comes out, like we just need to be pumping stuff out. Doesn't matter if
Right.
you know 1 million people see it or 100 million people see it. We just need to pump out content.
Right.
And I guess my only fear was going to happen with movies are the quality. Is like when all you're doing is just pumping stuff out. Are you
Mm-hmm.
really taking your time? Like Nolan, he takes years between, and Tarantino, they take years because they think out these ideas and these stories and come up with original stuff. But Netflix, they need a new movie like every week,
Yeah.
because we got to justify you keep paying the monthly bill. So, and
Right.
you ever feel this way? You go on Netflix or you go on some stuff and there's just so much on there. Like,
It's too
Yeah.
much.
How am I ever going to see this? How am I ever going to see all
right.
this stuff? Yeah.
When do I have time to watch all this
Exactly.
stuff?
Exactly. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time in front of the TV, and that's why I don't see a lot of shows that a lot of other people see, and I certainly don't see full seasons of them because I just don't. I really just don't have the time. I may have the time. I could probably make the time, but there's other things I want to do.
Right.
Rather than sit in front of the computer or the TV and watch and binge, for 6 hours on the Queen's Gambit or whatever, which was great, by the way. I saw it out.
Excellent. No, we say that, but yeah, Queen's Gambit, it was excellent. But no,
Yeah.
you have to be more discerning now. And
Yeah,
my
exactly.
issue is like before, the theater experience kind of in a way was a buffer that discerned like if something was bad, you'd hear it was bad and you'd be out of the theaters.
Yeah.
But now there's just so much stuff like
Hmm.
you have to wait till there's a huge buzz on something. Like that's the only reason I heard of Queen's Gambit, and my wife watched it without me. Of course,
Exactly.
on the boat. But that's the only way things break through. But then again, some good things may get lost in the shuffle just because there's so much content
It's
out
true.
there.
There's so much shit out there. I know.
But to me, it's like half of this stuff is just like, man, who slapped this stuff that I don't it's, and that's my biggest fear now. It's like you got so many streaming outlets and we need so much content that you're gonna have a flood of just bad
Yeah. Oh yeah.
TV and stuff.
And
So
so there's this one on there. What is it? The flight attendant with the Kelly Kuko or whatever her name is. Do you know about this one?
right.
That she's out there?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it. I've actually heard really good things. Is it bad, Vinny? Have you seen
It's a fucking dumpster fire. I swear to God. She fucking, number one, she pisses me off the whole movie. She acts so stupid and so over the top. I mean, it's like she's doing, acting like a Jim Carrey, just going way over the top. Only Jim Carrey can do it, He
Right.
get away with doing stuff like that because that's what he does. But she's like, I mean, she makes me a nervous wreck watching the damn thing. I watched like 2 episodes with my girlfriend, and I was like, I'm not watching this shit again. And then my girlfriend watched it by herself. She goes, I got through like half of another one, and that was it. That's all I could take. So
They're making a
some
second
people
season.
like it. Yeah, well, that figures.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about discerning, like I think I got that way a while ago, even before like streaming came into it, because like I used to be big into procedurals. Like I'd watch all the like Law and Orders, SVUs. I'd watch everything. I had a tapes. No, but this is back in the day. Okay, so I had tape system. I had Sunday through Saturday VHS tapes. I had a dual deck VCR. I'd have it recording different times. I had it set up all like that. That was my life back in my 20s. And then when I found serialized shows, like probably The Shield was a big one, and obviously Sopranos and things like that, things that build towards something, whether it's over a series or over a season. That's what I love now. I can't even watch procedurals now. Like my dad will watch like NCIS or whatever those. I can't. I can't. And the acting might be great. It's just something I can't do. I can't waste my time on. I have too many films to watch. I have too many great series to watch. I have too many video games with great stories to play. I have too many podcasts to record.
Which is
there you go.
you mentioned that I'm getting the PS5, but I literally have probably 7 or 8 PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch games that I haven't even started or barely started, and I haven't even finished yet. And I'm getting a PS5, so that tells you the problem I have. But before, I used to be a completist. Like if I went to go see a movie or if I started a TV show, I would finish it because it's like, hey, even if it wasn't the greatest, it was like, you know what, I'm here, I'll give it a chance. Now, if 15, 20 minutes, no, I'm out. I'm like, you know what? Okay, 1 or 2 episodes, no good. See ya. Like, there's too much stuff to watch. And like I said, me and my wife, we used to be like that with so many shows. Like, we were watching The Walking Dead until like season like 7 or 8, and finally we were just like, you know what? If you guys don't care, we don't care either. Fuck it, we're out. Like,
exactly.
You know, there's only
I
so
watched.
many times.
I think I did like the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, and I was a big fan. I loved it. I loved the show.
Right.
It's just that life got in the way of me sitting in front of the TV watching this shit, and the next thing I know, they're on to season 8, and I'm like, oh fuck! You mean I gotta watch 5 seasons of this shit to know where I'm at? So that's where they lost me there. I mean, I think I finished 2 series in my life: the Andy Griffith Show and Queen's Gambit. That's it. From one end of the spectrum to the other.
Oh my god.
So.
Oh man. So wait, you guys didn't answer my question because I got kicked off. Do you guys play Among Us? I love it.
No. Sainte looked it up to see what it was, but
have you guys? You guys have heard of it though? No.
No.
Well, you know what? I have. You mentioned it, but I guess it was like in passing or something. I didn't like. But is this something you play on your phone? You play it on Switch? Or?
Yeah, no. Well, you can play it on the Switch, but this is the gist of it. Basically, you get up to 10 people playing in the same room, people from all over the world or people you know. You can have 1 to 3 imposters, and their job is to go around killing the crew while the crew is doing tasks around the spaceship. And so you don't want to get found out, basically. So it's kind of like Clue. It's kind of like a modern version of Clue in a way. But they can also sabotage. They can do that. So, but there's also a chat function. So if someone finds a dead body, say, or if someone thinks it's someone, they can call a meeting, and everyone chats in that chat function to try to throw sus. Sus is the new word. You'll see everyone saying sus. They're saying they're suspect. They're trying to throw shade at them, trying to say this is what it was. And you're also trying to lie if you're the imposter, or you're trying to throw someone else under the bus. I don't know. I spend too much time playing it, but it's a good bonding experience for me and my daughter. We play. And
sounds like a day at work for me.
I know.
Sounds like a day at the WSB for me.
It's just something. It's a fun little thing, and you can get it on the iPhone. You can pay for it on the computer, but the biggest thing is you have to be able to type. And when I got it on the Switch the other day, I think it was like $5, and it's really hard to type on the Switch. Like even if you have a stylus, you're like and you're trying to. You have like 30 seconds to vote, and so you're trying to get your reasoning into why it's not you in that time. So I don't know if you guys have played it. It's fun. Maybe we'll do a little. I'll get a game together and send you guys a text.
I'll be willing to try it out.
It's interesting. Some people are like, this sucks, bye. But that's fine. That's their thing. Let's see. We talked about that. We've gone an hour and 15 minutes. We talked about Christmas. What about New Year's? You guys got any plans for New Year's this week?
Plans for New Year's. Got a hotel room for New Year's Eve, but that's where we'll be in the room watching the ball fall. It's not like we're going out anywhere. I mean, I live in Midtown Atlanta. The hotel's in Midtown Atlanta, so it's not like
I was gonna say, Vinnie, you have a hotel room and you're gonna be in downtown Atlanta.
But it's not home. It's a it's a strange
right.
It's a place away from home. So
I get you.
Yeah, for sure.
I live with my dad, and my girlfriend lives with her sister, so it's kind of like a little getaway. But other than that, that's it. I mean, bring in the new year and then go home on Friday. So that's about it.
Sainte, nothing for you. You say you're on the boat next month, right?
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because I spent like a good my right after actually when I CSB, I spent a good amount of my mid-20s into my 30s. I was always DJing on New Year's, man. I spent probably 8 years in a row DJing on New Year's Eve. It's one of the biggest nightclub nights, go out nights, many spots. But the last 2 years, last year was here, and this year is going to be here inside. Not even, wow. I got crazy neighbors. They're going to be lighting off tons of fireworks because they did for 4th of July. It was, and COVID be damned, they're going to light off. They're going to get together and light off fireworks, COVID or not. So, but yeah, no, I'm going to be inside with the kids. So no plans this year.
Yeah, this year's kind of screwed up for everyone, I think. Speaking of which, that was my number one topic for this week. We haven't got around to yet. Besides my pending COVID diagnosis, I'm having my rotator cuff surgically operated on. So that's fun, right?
Hold on, say again. You did, or you have to?
No, so January 7th, as long as I don't have COVID, January 7th is my surgery. He said it was like 80% torn, so I have to, I don't know if it's from all the camera work over the years or like I was in a bad car accident a few years ago. I don't know if you knew about that, Vinnie, but
no.
I don't, they can't place exactly where it's from, but I know something's been happening. It's been causing pain when I'm sleeping. And so I went to get an MRI, got that done. The doc's like, yeah, it's probably best to get this done. You're young enough. You should heal well. 3 months of physical therapy, which I'm not looking forward to, but hopefully, yeah.
Well,
maybe catching all those passes from Roethlisberger over the middle, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I wish. Hey, that's a good segue into the Steelers win today.
Oh, wait. No. I don't want to go. So back to the rotation. So
back to the surgery.
Yeah.
Wait, you're a Dolphins fan, right? They're still in the hunt?
Did they play today?
I think we're number 5 right now, so we got the first wild card spot right now.
They played Saturday. They played. We're recording this on Sunday. They played yesterday.
Did they win?
Yeah,
won.
Beat the Raiders.
Yeah, they beat the Raiders. Good.
The Raiders. I guess John Gruden thought he was smart. Had the guy take a knee at the 1-yard line. Left us with about 30 seconds left. Then they put in Fitzpatrick instead of Tua.
Oh, yeah.
He throws a deep pass. It gets caught, but he also gets face mask. And we kick a field goal. We're down by 2. Kick a field goal with 8 seconds left. Terrible.
Nice.
His idea was, I'm not going to go for the touchdown to take more time off the clock. But with them kicking the field goal, they were only up by 2. So actually, football math will tell you that's not good math. Go for the touchdown because it's harder. John Gruden, he thought he was the smartest guy because on Monday Night Football for 10 years. Crazy.
Wow.
Anyway.
No, Romo's the smartest guy. His football IQ is insane. Like, I'm watching the game today, and he's calling it with Jim Nantz. It's true. He can almost predict plays before they happen. And he's played in the game for a number of years. Yeah, but I mean that's still impressive to me. Like I couldn't do that.
He's good. He's a good commentator. I like listening to him. I hated him as a Cowboy when he was playing, but as a commentator, man, he's pretty good. He's a good color analyst, and like you said, he knows football, man. And sometimes he does predict the play.
I think the thing with Romo is he predicts, but he does it with enthusiasm. Like you can tell he really, like he's juiced up. He sounds like a kid.
Exactly.
I know what's going to happen here.
That's exactly what it is.
He's juiced with it. For a lot of guys, it just sounds like they're just, taught, where Romo still has like a kid excitement about it, which is good for TV and, for radio and all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Yeah. That's what made me like him. I mean, I didn't even know it was him when I first heard him commentating, and I'm like, who the hell's this guy? I mean, this guy's good, and he's excited, and he's into the game, and all this shit. And next thing you know, the guy saying it's Romo. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I have to like Tony Romo now. Oh my god.
You should have heard Jim Nantz, because they're the number 1 team for CBS. So as soon as Nantz found out the Chiefs had barely squeaked by the Falcons, he said, "Well, Tony, I'll tell you, we won't be going to Kansas City next week." Because the number 1 team in broadcasting is not going to go watch a bunch of 3rd string and 4th string players for the Chiefs play for something they don't have to play for.
Right.
Exactly.
It's probably going to be Steelers. Probably going to be Steelers Browns, huh?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, the Browns are fighting for that spot. Steelers already in and won the North, but they're fighting for positioning. So the Colts, I think, before I started the podcast, they were out because of the loss of the Steelers. So they're fighting next week. So crazy week.
Dolphins, Browns, and then
Ravens.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Well, is that for the wild card position?
Yeah, right now the 3 wild card spots.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. We'll see.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Dolphins get in there somehow.
Yeah, it'd
get
be
in the mix.
interesting.
Get in the mix at least. You know, they've been shit for so long.
With that
I
quarterback.
mean, seriously.
tandem.
I mean, I used to love it. I mean, because I lived in South Florida. I mean, I was a Steeler fan, but of course, you know, I like the Dolphins too, as long as they didn't play each other. And you know, I was a bit of a fan.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they've been shit for so long, man. It's like being a Jet fan. I mean, you know, if you're a Jet fan, Jesus Christ, you know, holy hell.
No,
God bless you.
in our defense, I will say that half of not all, but half of Dolphin fans were not as delusional as Jet fans and these other fan bases that sucked.
Yeah.
And it comes from being in Miami. It's like if our teams suck, we find something else to do.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
the Dolphins have just sucked for so long. I mean, there's some diehard Fin fans who were, you know,
I used to work with some Dolphin fans that were they were as delusional as the Jet fans. I mean, they would win a preseason game and they're talking Super Bowl. You know, so it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Not this guy over here. And I know there's a bunch of us who are just like, we finally have a decent coach.
Yes.
I'm still not, you know, see, again, here's realistic Dolphin fans. I'm not all the way in on Tua yet. I'm not exactly sure. Alabama does not have a track record of sending top tier. They're surrounded by studs down there. And they come into the league and it's like everyone's a stud now. You don't have old tricky Nicky Saban and all that stuff going on down there. So I'm not 100% sold on Tua. Well, what did happen was Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville for sure now. And, you know, I mean, God help his soul for going to Jacksonville. But that's who I wanted. Because I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be I think he's going to be the next Mahomes, Andrew Luck type quarterback, you know, A+ stud. But we'll see what happens to it. Again, I'm a realistic Dolphin fan. I'm like, we're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Maybe we get in there, maybe we don't. I mean, like I said in the game, they actually benched Tua for Fitzpatrick in the last few minutes of that game. So he still has some learning pain. So it's whatever. I still think it's either Kansas City or New Orleans to lose this year. So, you know, wake me up for the Super Bowl, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that after the last few Steelers games, but
man.
Listen,
killing me, man. Killing me.
The second half today was a thing of beauty for the Steelers. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. You know, playoffs start 2 weeks, and we'll see what's going on. But anything else we haven't touched on, guys, that we should touch on before we end this marathon session of the Usual Saints?
Not a marathon, but I think an hour and a half is probably the right kind of sweet spot, you know, ish. I mean, little technical difficulties.
Well,
I'll remember for next time.
I mean, as long as we're talking about shit, you know,
right?
And we're not just sitting there going, "Wow, look at Sainte's walls. That's nice."
Well, speaking of which, do you guys like my daughter's room? She's got some style, right?
It's very nice.
Like I said, I have amazing. I'm gonna put more up, but I do have amazing walls. I have the listeners.
I have a bed and then a blanket over a window. Okay. All right, there you go.
He's got the blackout curtains.
He's in a quarantine dungeon right now.
Anybody who sees this is gonna go, that guy needs that podcast.
Oh my god, that's funny.
But
all right.
Only thing I want to say is, what do you guys think of the COVID bill? Thoughts, real quick. $600.
Yeah, I mean, listen, is it the same as last time, or did we get 12 last time?
We got 12 last time.
12 last time.
Per person?
Yeah. Per person.
Okay, so yeah, that sucks. I mean, it's a bunch of politicians that waited 8 months to get us some more money, and they halved it.
And Trump was pushing for 2,000.
Yeah,
but he was just being a dick.
Yeah,
right.
He's doing everything he can to mess with everyone and anyone, his own party or anyone.
Yeah.
You know, he's saying that magazines are biased because they wouldn't put Melania on the covers for years.
Jesus Christ! I've seen better skin on baloney. I mean, come on. I'm done with her, you know. And what has she done as a first lady? I mean, does she have any accomplishments? Other
Uh,
than maybe decorating the tree? I don't
those
know.
those gothic Christmas decorations she hangs up at the
Holy
White House every
shit,
year.
man.
That blood red
I'm
Christmas we
surprised they
got
didn't,
going here.
yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have the Christmas tree upside down. You know?
I
Christmas
mean,
at the Shining Hotel.
that would be
Yeah,
Happening
awesome.
here.
exactly. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the whole bill. You know, I'm a big, I'd say I'm more progressive. I'm a big liberal. I believe in trying to help people. So any help that can get done. But I mean, I feel like it's so little, so late.
It really
Right.
is.
So
It
it's
really is.
just,
It should
it's,
have happened before now. I mean,
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm fortunate enough to work in an industry, you know, since I got out of TV, that I'm pretty much guaranteed, I guess, employment as long as I don't fuck it up. And so, you know, I haven't been affected as much. And my wife, you know, she works at a hospital, so she's pretty mandatory.
Mm.
well, she's got
y-
job security for
yeah,
sure.
so us two, we
Right.
haven't really been affected, you know,
Yeah.
and so I see people, whether it's clients I go out and see, or, you know, Vinnie, I
Uh,
mean, you got laid off yourself, whether it was a
I
merger
got
or
laid off.
COVID or
Yeah.
whatnot, you know, so
Yeah.
you just see people that it touches, and it's a
Yeah.
real thing, man. People who
Absolutely.
don't take this seriously, you know, and you know, the big thing down here in where I live is parents, there's like a group of 4 parents filing a lawsuit against the school board for saying that kids have to wear schools in the school system. We're like, just don't send your kid to school, have them do the virtual schooling. It's the same thing. Oh, it's not the same.
Right.
We pay tax dollars for our education. We want them to go to school, and they have medical problems. Have you seen what these masks cause? And literally, there's been, you know, I don't know if scientific studies. I'm pretty sure though that I saw a link the other day from a Department of Health or something that showed that yes, masks does not do anything to you. They protect others. They protect you.
Right.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so the people that are just making this a political thing are just dummies, and they're out for themselves. So
Nah, anybody that's using this for political gain is an asshole right out of the gate.
yeah,
And, so, I mean, you know, wearing a mask, it's an inconvenience at worst. It's an inconvenience. If you're just hopping in your car and going to the grocery store and you got to wear a mask for 15 minutes while you go inside and get some bread or whatever the hell you're doing it, and then go home and take it off. I mean, is that really changing your life? I mean, is that really,
Right.
taking away your freedoms? I mean, the people that say it's taking away my freedom, I say, you got to be kidding me. Come on. I mean, like I said, it's a minor inconvenience to have to do that. And, at work, I had to wear a mask at work as well. But when you're in a certain area and you do social distancing, as long as you're in your area, you take your mask off. If you're going to get up and go to the bathroom or go to the water cooler or whatever, throw your mask on, go do your thing, come back, sit down, take your mask off. I mean, the people that are making a big deal about this it just escapes me as to why.
Right.
They just want to hear their voice heard. They just want to be a thorn in the side of the system or what. I don't know. The protocol is very simple. Put a mask on, wash your hands, don't touch your face, cough away from people. If you feel sick, stay home. I mean, that's not asking a lot. I mean, they're not telling you to go dig a moat around your house, to keep people away and stuff like that. I mean, it's very simple. It's elementary.
So, yeah, no, I just want to get thoughts on since the bill just passed. I just pulled it up and seen that Trump decided to sign it. Just want to get thoughts. Basically, I echo everything you guys said. Feel the same way. A little too late, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Trump just trying to a little more jazz for on his way out. So,
Yeah.
but wanted to get some of your guys' thoughts. But
that should be
yeah, I got
interesting in the next few weeks, like to see how that plays out. Like, I mean, I know everyone, Democrats or Republicans, have said you don't leave the office leaves you. And so
No,
come
right.
January 20th or 21st,
Yeah.
whatever, we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I heard him say for the first time that I was surprised to hear him say it. He actually referred to the next administration. And I was like, oh, well, maybe he's coming around. But he's still got all these lawsuits out. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still going through with all these things. But, in public, he's starting to talk about the next administration. So, maybe there's hope. Maybe he's going to get out of here
no,
without a big problem.
Sainte doesn't seem to.
no. It's okay. 1 minute quick rant. It's all a grift. He knows. Like, I'm not gonna. I personally think on an intellectual level, or to be president of the United States, Donald Trump is a dumbass on that level, but he's not
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
No, he's not.
So this is just all a grift. It's got to keep the people who are angry, the people who don't want to wear masks, who want to talk about my freedom and my rights, who think the election was stolen, it was rigged, even though Republicans did really, really well, but somehow on the presidential level that was rigged. Try to put
Yeah.
2 and 2 equals 5 over here,
Right.
but it's keep them mad, keep them engaged because it's all a grift. It's got to keep the money coming, gonna keep doing rallies, and it's just a grift. They've realized that being in politics now is the way they make money now, and he's making just a realization that as long as his base is upset and angry about something, anything, COVID, the election, Democrats, media, Facebook, that's how you keep them engaged and you keep the money rolling in. And they're going to keep asking for donations well after the election to keep the money rolling in.
And he'll get it. Definitely. Yeah.
And that's all it is. Yeah. He's not stupid. He knows, but
it's not him that's stupid. It's the people, following him that are stupid. I mean, the people that are sending them donations. I mean, those are the people you got to look out for. So unfortunately, there's a lot of them.
Right.
But, do what you can.
Do you guys? I know I said I wanted to wrap it up, and I think we will soon. But I want to touch on something. See if I don't know, Vinnie, if you watched. Do you have Disney Plus, Vinnie? Do you watch Mandalorian or anything?
No.
Okay. Saint, you watch Mandalorian?
Come on now.
Yeah.
Should we touch on that before, because it's going to be less timely eventually, because it just ended a week ago?
Yeah. Let's do a few minutes and wrap it up because that's good. Let's end on a positive note. Fuck that Trump shit.
There you go.
I'm guessing, spoiler alert, you're talking about the return of a certain Luke Skywalker to the Mandalorian universe.
A certain Jedi, yes. I gotta tell you, I was hoping beyond hope that Mace Windu would walk through the door, but once I saw the X-Wing, I knew who it was going to be.
You know what's funny? You just said that, and that would have been so much better. I would have, if it had been Mace Windu, I would have went bananas. Now, let me say, the reason I liked, of course, Mike, I know you, Vinny, have you seen Rogue One? The Star Wars story, Rogue One,
yeah, that one movie? I saw.
What I liked about when Luke came back, and Mike, you can attest this, it mirrored how he fought those robots. It mirrored Vader at the end of Rogue One. You can kind of see they were mirroring when Luke came in, badass with the lightsaber, badass with the Force. When they showed Luke, I want to say the CG was not that good. No. Not good at all. It was, I don't know, they should have went and tried to DH Mark Hamill, but this was, I guess it was a guy. Then they put like a CG mask over his face, and it did not work for me at all. It looked really like it was from the original Star Wars. Like cheesy. That's cheesy. No good. But I like how they brought him. Storytelling wise, I don't know. It's kind of a cheat because, and I say this in a way, it's fan servicey. You know what I mean? You know the fanboys are gonna love it. We're gonna be excited about it. But when you think about the overall Mandalorian story, it's like Luke pops up out of nowhere. He takes Baby Yoda with him, so that's off the table. And I mean, maybe they did it, to take the Mandalorian into a different direction. Try to get past the whole Grogu, Baby Yoda thing. But as much as I enjoyed it as a storytelling, I kind of see it as a cheat, because why else would you care about Luke Skywalker coming in if you didn't know who Luke Skywalker was and all that? It served no purpose in the Mandalorian story, but it was still cool. So, I'll take it.
It was definitely cool. It was a nice capper to the season. I mean, from the first episode of the season, when Boba Fett shows up, I think that was first episode, maybe the second episode. That was a capper for me. I'm a huge Boba Fett fan from the original trilogy back from Empire, and so seeing that the next series is going to be the Book of Boba Fett, I think it's going to be a limited run, but that should be fun. And they're going to have Mandalorian season 3, and like we touched on earlier, they're going to have a bazillion other series based on different Star Wars properties that they're creating now, or comics or video games or whatnot. So
Right.
it should be entertaining few years, you know, as long as COVID gets out of the way and they can actually make these things happen. So
Yep.
Vinny, are you, I know you said you saw Rogue One. Are you a big Star Wars guy? You just hadn't seen The
No.
Mandalorian, or no, not a big Star Wars fan?
No, I was a Star Wars fan when Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
I saw the first one and I saw Empire Strikes Back, and that was it up until the Rogue One. And I just saw that, and I just saw that just because.
But wait,
saw it just because.
You saw Empire, and you weren't so blown away by Empire or by the twist in Empire that you were like 3 years later when Return of the Jedi came out, you were like, I gotta go see this shit.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. I was doing other stuff. You know, I was busy.
I get you, man. I get you.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, when you think about it, it's not really. I mean, those are like the top two, and then maybe I'm a big Last Jedi fan, but I mean, we don't need to get in that right now. But I'm a big Last Jedi fan, and then the prequels.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. I heard the prequels sucked and all that, and I was just disinterested after that. I was like, he's just throwing shit out there to, attract the Star Wars nuts, and they're complaining about it. So it's like, why would I bother? To go see that.
It depends. Like, and this is going to get us into a whole thing, I guess. Saint touched on something. The Last Jedi, the reason he likes that, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think is because it was an artist's unique tale within that. Of course, I had to go through Lucasfilm and everything, and Lucas has nothing to do with Lucasfilm now. He sold it for $4 billion to Disney. So,
poor guy. Poor
yeah. I mean, the prequels were his way of, telling the story of Anakin, but he wanted to make it kid friendly, and he wanted to sell merchandise and all this stuff. Because he got all that money. He got that merchandise money from the original deal he struck with Fox. Yeah. So the new ones, Rogue One is amazing. I love Rogue One. Solo, I've developed an appreciation for after the fact. I love K2SO in Rogue One. That's my favorite. Alan Tudyk, he's the best. So the sequel trilogy, though, it was a lot of fan service. It was basically, the first one was basically Star Wars. Force Awakens basically New Hope. Last Jedi stands out because they let Rian Johnson go in. Rian Johnson did his thing, and they were like, when Rey's like, when Kylo Ren tells Rey, your parents were nobodies, and then JJ comes back the next movie and goes, well, but wait.
Right. Actually, the Emperor Palpatine is your grandfather. It's like, it just basically Rise of Skywalker is just a big middle finger to The Last Jedi. And I love, The Last Jedi was basically Rian Johnson saying, hey, we're going to take this goes back to my movies. We're going to take this in a new direction. Let's try something different. No fan service. Let the past die. And then, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy and all that couldn't do it. So, hey guys, I don't mean to take any longer, but I gotta get going.
I was gonna end it anyway, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna end it this week. We'll plan on hopefully meeting up next week. We'll organize that. We'll get it together. Let's use this time to say, if anyone listens to this and wants to send an idea, a topic, or anything like that, I have an email, usualsaints@gmail.com. And also I made a Twitter for us, the Usual Saints. So follow us. Maybe we'll post some stuff. I'll definitely put the links up there to get it out there. Share with your friends. And for Saint and Vinny, this is Mike D signing off for the Usual Saints. Thanks.
Peace. Next time.